All in all, a great night of fighting. I think the big takeaway from that main event is it just keeps reasserting this whole idea that fighters should go up a weight class. That this whole weight cutting thing and the idea that you're going to come in, you're going to weight cut to make weight, and then you're going to go in the fight heavier and therefore at an advantage. It's just not true. There's been countless examples just last week with Masvidal moving up, and Till is a big guy for that division. People are saying to Till that he should be moving up, and Masvidal was certainly small for that division, easily making the one prior. So again, prime example with Pettis, 145er, 155er, now 170. I was talking about this weight last week and really trying to make a point that maybe he was taking on a bit too much by coming up this far. But it just goes to show the power difference when you go in there without having suffered the dehydrational effects of cutting weight. I guess on the day, when we're talking about the weight cuts, the weigh-ins are a few days before the fights. You do have plenty of time to rehydrate and recuperate. But just like, say, example, when you get the flu. When you get the flu, you might get past all the symptoms and, you go back to work on Monday and you feel fine. But if I took you to the gym that evening, compared to the week way before you got sick, guaranteed there'd be a dramatic difference in your performance. And it's because you're not 100% recovered. You are back up and you're running and you're moving and your mind's there and you're not sniffling, but you are not 100%. And I think it's exactly the same. I think these weight cuts, I think these water cuts, they leave you compromised. Now, it seems to work fine when you're both compromised. This is what the reality of it is at the moment, is that everyone's cutting weight. So everyone's going in there at, let's say, 80%. But we are seeing constant examples of when guys don't choose to cut that weight and they go up the division. Cormier, Masvidal, Pettis, Conor McGregor back in the day, going up from 145 to 155. You see these constant examples of guys who operate and just clearly work at a much higher rate of output, or their power just goes exponentially through the roof. It might even just be that the other side is operating compromised. So let's say you're 10% stronger than you were at the other weight and they are 10% compromised. That's like a 20%, this is some bizarre maths, but that's a 20% total differential in you. So your extra bit of power and their extra bit of fragileness from being under that weight cutted condition, it seems to be resulting in knockout after knockout after knockout for these guys. There doesn't seem to be a giant disadvantage to being the smaller guy in there. I guess this all changes if everyone stops doing it. So if we do, the one championship approach, everyone goes up one weight division, then it kind of writes this off. But then we get rid of a lot of issues of fighters missing weight and fighters struggling with these painful weight cuts. It pains me to watch some of these fighters step on the scale. Watching Darren Till step on the scale the other week, he just didn't look well. And I know that partly it's just a physical thing of what you look like when you are sap dry of water. Imagine a plant that you forgot to water for a few weeks and it looks sad and depressed. You can get it back up, you feed it with some water, give it some fertilizer, or get it in the sun and it perks right back up. I get it. It's still not good for it. It's still not good for you. It's still not good for people. I really think it's time to see some changes. I think this is just another example.